Just give it a second. We're live on Instagram.
Party time.
Sync it up.
Excellent.
Checking connection. Hello, everyone. Give us a minute. We're now on Instagram as well. In addition to our live stream setup is Instagram. So everyone gets the benefit of David and Kelly on a Wednesday night. Not that anyone
Doesn't
really
matter
cares.
what platform you're on, you'll see our faces.
You can't avoid us. The haters, you just can't avoid us. We're going to be everywhere. Anyway, welcome, guys. Welcome to Sunflower Life Live, number 3 on a Wednesday night. We couldn't decide which one it was. It's actually 4, but 3rd for our Wednesday sessions. Those of you who are joining us, send us a quick 5x5 in the chat. Make sure you can hear us okay. We are blessed to be sharing some truths with you tonight about the current situation in the world. We want to talk about how it's really up to us, the light bearers, the people who are awake and aware of what's going on, to get a bit more, I suppose, responsible when we're talking to ourselves. And when we speak like this, everything we share, we're guilty of, so we're allowed to share it. But we take a bit more crucial accountability, crucial spiritual accountability for keeping and holding our vibration on the planet now, because we don't want, although we know this is a divine plan playing out, we don't really want to have to go through this for as long as we may have to. And we want to fast track our entrance into the new earth. And there's ways we can do that by sort of shifting timelines, and we'll maybe get into that today. But I'm joined with my divine counterpart, Kelly. She's so beautiful. I'm going to show you some pictures of her in a minute. We did a little photo shoot yesterday.
Okay, babe, before you go too much further, okay, you say, give me a 5x5. You say this all the time in all of your lives, and I don't know what that means.
So 5x5 means, where did I get that from?
You literally lost me like the second you started this live. So
I got that from, let's close this off. I got that from, I can't remember, probably another podcast. It could be a military term. I can't remember. 5x5 means, yeah, good.
Okay, so
you
want people to know that they're all good. They can hear us.
5x5. Everything's in a row.
5x5. Okay.
It could be a 3x3, but.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you say that a lot of people don't understand.
We'll go with 8x8 next time.
I'm here for clarity.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, do you want to kick off with just a little bit about, again, about us and what we've been up to? And
yeah, well, I think we always try to come on the lives and discuss what we're going to talk about when we get on here. And I don't know, I think people just are curious about us and, you know, why we're doing this and what's going on in our lives. And I've been super popular on social media today and on Facebook today because I have a new awesome profile picture and I'm looking so good. And I was talking a little bit about my finds as well. And I realized that I haven't been updating people very much. I think we met, we got into a relationship, and we just really started moving quickly towards our goals and everything that we've wanted to do together. It's just been really easy to disconnect from social media and keeping people updated. And, you know, we've had so much going on. I think that we can't really talk about it until after we've gone through it. So
why do you go from where you were from to where you are now and where the finds are from?
Where I'm, yeah, okay. Well, thank you. I didn't really need you to tell me to do that.
Back in the summer, where we've come from.
Back in the summer. Okay. Well, did you want to start with the pictures or do you want to start with the story?
Let's go with the story and then we'll dovetail into what we've been up to.
Okay. That sounds really great. So I just posted on Facebook that my second $2,800 fine got tossed today in court. So a lot of people have been asking, what the heck did you do to get a $2,800 fine? You know, how did it get beat in court? A lot of people also have fines and they're in the same situation. So I guess, yeah, we'll just rewind back. And I feel like every time we do a live, I have to name drop RC the rapper because that's kind of where I was at this summer. We started to see a lot of these restrictions come in and not a lot of warrant for them. So a lot of people were questioning everything that was going on and you know, getting getting upset about a lot of these restrictions that have been placed on us and in our lives, and just going out there and demanding answers. And anybody who knows me has always known I've been really against the grain my whole life. That's probably what has attracted you to me so much.
One of many things.
I'm always one to just get in there and fight for what I believe in and stand up for what I feel is right and true in my own heart. So me and RC, we were doing a lot of traveling around this summer. We were going to a lot of freedom rallies and protests and meeting people in community and building up our freedom family and trying to speak our truth and, reach people through the music and get some of our information that we felt was important in connecting people and uniting people and just trying to help that entire movement. So going back, that's actually where David and I met each other. I don't know if you guys know this, but David was actually one of the very first people to be in the quarantine hotels.
That's true. Yes, I got famous.
That's how he got famous.
I know, another story for another time.
Yeah. He got stuck in the quarantine hotel and he ended up going live on his channels and causing a big stir. So if you recognize him, that's probably from where. So we were kind of just running in the same circles and doing a lot of these rallies and protests. And I was all over. You were in Calgary living there, and now I'm so grateful you're up in Edmonton with me. But we were back and forth between Calgary and Edmonton. We did some rallying and protesting in BC. We even did a little stint in Saskatchewan where I went with RC and we were performing, and we were on tour, I guess you could say, with Maxine Bernier at the time, Mark Friesen, Laura Lynn, and we did a stop in Regina. We did a stop in Saskatoon. We did a stop in Milden, Saskatchewan. There's like 50 people there. You guys probably haven't heard of it. But we were stopping everywhere. Everywhere they were going, we were going. We were performing, just trying to meet people and connect in community. And of course, they had crazier restrictions than we did, even in Alberta, and their Saskatchewan police officers were enforcing it quite harshly. So at 3 of the rallies that I was at with RC, he got fined $2,800 in person, pulled over by the cops. We have it all on film. We even got pulled over one time driving my vehicle, and I just refused to straight up talk to them because I wasn't driving. So, they tried to get my information and my license, and I just shut it down and said, I don't have to talk to you guys. Basically, I just gave them a card that said, I don't have to talk to you guys. I didn't even speak to them. But unfortunately, it was my car that they were driving when he got pulled over. So I ended up getting away scotch-free. That whole stint in Saskatchewan, I didn't get any fines. Dun, 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 until I came home. So they must have looked me up on social media, or they must have taken my information from my vehicle when we got pulled over. Anyways, they knew my name, they knew my birthday, and they sent me my fines. Who cares?
Well,
can they really even see this? What does it have? My old address.
It's got a name on there.
A name?
Yeah.
Let's call him out.
No, let's not do that.
Inspector, detective.
We're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
We've got too much to go through.
Anyways, I got these fines sent to me in the mail. $2,800, my first fine.
For just protesting.
Actually, what does it say here? By participating in a public and or private outdoor gathering exceeding 10 persons while attending a rally which took place May 9th.
Okay.
So I get this fine in the mail. And then I guess not too long after this fine, it was brought to my attention because we were trying to get information about this ticket. that I had another fine on file that they didn't even actually send to me in the mail. So I didn't even know I had it. So I'm racking up fines, RC's racking up fines, and I didn't even know I had them. So it was a little bit crazy, but luckily for me, the stars aligned, and at the same time and at the same place, I ended up meeting somebody at the Justice Center, and they ended up taking on RC's fines as well as my fines, and they've gone to court and they've gone to battle for me, which is incredible, because if they didn't, I would literally have to drive to Saskatoon to go deal with this. This is a summons, so they don't give me any disclosure. They don't give me any information. I'm not allowed to plead guilty unless I'm in court and I'm present on that day. So I would have to be traveling to Regina. I would have to be traveling to Saskatoon, 8 hours, 5-hour drive from Edmonton in order to show up on my own behalf. So thank you to the Justice Center for agreeing to take on my fines. They've fought both of them. Both of them have been dropped. All of RC's fines have been dropped as well. So if anybody has a chance to donate to the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, they're doing big things. They are taking on the nurses' cases. They are taking on, our cases. And we are so incredibly grateful to have somebody who is out there and standing up for our constitutional rights and freedoms right here in Alberta and across the different provinces in Canada. So what's going on there?
I'm just writing it down here. Justice Center for Constitutional. Let's get this right. Constitutional.
So we're not alone. There are a number of people who are out there standing up for us. And, that's a bit of where we were at in summertime. And like I said, I was out there using my voice a lot and fighting back against some of the system and some of the tyranny here. So, So the JCCF are taking on a lot of cases. They're doing a lot of amazing work right now, and I know Mr. Galati out in Toronto is doing the same thing. Everyone's kind of sort of fighting what's going on. We're going to move on from this topic really shortly here, but they're fighting some of the things that are deemed to be unconstitutional, and everyone can decide whether they are or not. But we got just huge props to them. We're really, really appreciative for everything they're doing. And as Kelly said, if you can throw them even just $5 or $2, they do pro bono work, so it's all from donations. I think they're pretty much a donation-only organization. And they didn't honestly take a cent from us, and they just went and represented, and they did everything. So huge shout out to the JCCF, shout out to RC the Rapper, and Freedom Family, all of you. That's obviously how we met, just running in the same circles. And, since then we've kind of stepped back from that scene a little bit. And, we've just been focusing more on our spiritual side and starting up our own channel and some of the teachings that we feel are really important to us and helping us evolve and helping us move forward. So that's why we're not so much in the thick of it anymore. But honestly, when things like today happen and those fines get thrown out, it's a win for everybody.
Yeah. So we and the reason why we sort of made that transition is because as we get more and have got more into the spiritual work, I suppose, we've realized some things, and a key thing which we're going to go over today is that the vibration and the frequency that you hold when you are in a protest type environment is actually, you can actually prove this, is for the most part detrimental to helping the light and the frequency of the planet on a collective level evolve. And I'm going to break that down in a moment here. But in coming to these realizations, we sort of said, well, our mission is to become the best version of ourselves. It's to add value at the most levels that we can to humanity. By doing so, and in other ways too. So what can we best be doing right now to fulfill that goal? And so we made a decision to kind of step back from some of the rallies, step back from some of the protests, and really focus on bringing our vibration to dissolve the misaligned ones, the misaligned forces on the planet of darkness in a different way. And that's through this platform as well as many other things. So
because I think ultimately, as soon as you're, fighting the system and you're fighting back, you're in that fight. You're in that resistance. And as soon as you start pushing back against the things that are pushing you, they just start pushing harder. And then you have to start pushing harder. So it's not this, surrender and let go sort of a mentality that we're trying to adopt now. It's you become what you focus on. So when you're constantly feeling oppressed and you're constantly feeling attacked and you're constantly feeling a control, like, this is what they're doing to us, and you're constantly focusing on that becomes your focus, and it starts to breed, a lot of fear in these really courageous people who are out there fighting for freedom and fighting for truth and fighting for what's right. But ultimately, the vibration is still fighting. It's still resistance. It's still pushing back. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about and make tonight's show on a little bit.
And we're going to go into a little graph here, a little picture, I guess, but it's a graph of the Hawkins scale.
We've been talking a lot about the Hawkins scale, and it's a scale of consciousness. So it actually takes our different levels of consciousness, things that we feel, what we consciously feel, what we consciously think, what we're consciously aware of what we are experiencing in this moment. I am feeling nervous. I am feeling anxious. I am feeling joy. I am feeling excitement. This is all our perception of how we interpret these experiences and how we interpret our life and how we interpret the moment.
Right. So let's break this down. If you can see this, if not, you may have to go and get a better version of this. I'll just zoom in a bit. I'm not sure how well you can see that on YouTube and other platforms, but many of you are familiar with this scale, but we want to sort of give you a little bit of a reference we're talking about here. Now, it's really talked about at the beginning of the awakening vibration starts at around the 200 level. You can measure it in hertz, or you can measure it in whatever you want. We use the hertz frequency.
You can read the Hawkins scale book, Power versus Force. He talks about all this kind of stuff.
Right. So as you can see here on the right, these are the flow states that we get into. Now, just back of that a little bit, in order for the collective consciousness to raise on the planet, for things to enter a higher density, a higher dimension, the base level of humanity has to be above, I think it's 250, around there, on a collective level, for things to start to shift. Now, the higher you go up as a collective frequency, the more you'll go up into higher realms. And as a planet,
well, it says right here, 250 is neutrality.
Right.
So anything over 250 starts to shift to the positive. Right.
Yeah.
And anything kind of under that 200 mark starts to shift you into the more negative state.
Right. Perfect. So when you get into a protest scenario, just bear that in mind. Let's have a look at some of these frequencies, which are really more associated with protesting and fighting in a protest scenario. Not always, but mostly. And it's very easy to get pulled into this vibration, especially if it's a big crowd. And those are really the states that are the lower states, the pride states, the anger states, the desire, the fear. Now, those are very low vibrational frequencies. Doesn't mean that you're in those when you go out and protest. If you're watching this, we're not sort of projecting that on you. But
no, definitely not. It's the most
are.
loving, united community of people out there. But it doesn't mean that we don't have fear.
Right.
Because the more that we think like, oh, this is going to harm me, and you're worried about the V and you're worried about the passports, you are in that state of worry. You are in that state of, we need to prepare. We need to fight back. We need to do something about this.
Right. And there's often police presence, so there's more opposition frequencies there as well. And, what have you. Again, these can shift, but this is sort of what we've experienced for the most part. But again, not everything. And not everyone.
Of talking about the things that are happening and trying to bring awareness to these, really kind of negative things that are going on in the world right now. But once you start to, focus and talk about the negative. So like I belong to, all these freedom fighter groups, and I am a fighter at heart. I always have been. I told you, I'm always against the grain. As soon as someone tells me something, I want to go the opposite way. And so I like to be informed. I like to be in the know. So, I'm on social media and I'm scrolling and I'm seeing like all of these horrible things that are happening all the time. And like, I can't help but get into that state of worry. I can't help but say, hey babe, like maybe we should get extra gas and groceries and do all these things, because I fear that this is going to be happening in our near future. Like I can't help but go there, because everything I'm looking at and consuming and focusing on all the time is this, negative fear-based stuff that constantly puts me in a state of worry, that constantly makes me feel like we have to do something about this.
I know. Just a quick shout out to say hey to everyone in the chat on YouTube. If you're watching this on Instagram, you won't be able to see this graph, so this picture. So sorry about that. But yeah, Kelly's right. And if you
on YouTube,
if you go to YouTube and see this right now, if you look at the states sort of as we get back into the higher states, into the flow state of, there are people in Italy right now, and this is going all around the web, groups who are gathering together in big cities like Rome and also small towns, who are coming together and chanting the word Om, which is a very, very high vibrational word. And it's been measured to resonate at about 425.
Well, just step back for a second. So what we're talking about,
So if you look at 425 on the scale, that's almost in the pure Tao, directly in the pure Tao or Tao state, which is a very, very high vibrational state. You pronounce that differently depending on where you're from. It's actually pronounced Tao. But anyway, and so I guess our point is, if you're going out to protest and you're a freedom fighter and things, nothing wrong with that. Don't stop doing that if you feel called to do it. But maybe do a little frequency inventory, a little frequency checkup to say, you know what am I actually collectively bringing to the planet with my frequency when I go out? Is it these higher states of 200 and above? If it is, that's wonderful. Keep doing that. But if it's not, then maybe like we have done, you need to reevaluate where you put your energy into. I'd like to see personally groups come out and do the chanting of Om, doing the group meditation work, and really focusing on what we want to see on the planet and raise our vibration in these big groups, because that's going to make the most difference. You may not believe that. If you are struggling sort of conceptualizing that, that's okay. We're going to go into that maybe in a little bit more depth in some of our courses and online shows and things, but everything is energy and frequency. And that really has been proven time and time again. It's really coming back into the awareness of humanity now. So,
well, and some of the most powerful protests we've seen have been those silent protests, have been those, people just in that meditative, peaceful state chanting Om. It's like, we're not going to let you guys affect us. We're not going to let you guys bring us down. We're just going to be, and we're going to be peaceful, and we're going to hold that high vibration, because really what they are trying to do is control us with fear. And the collective energy on the planet right now is fear. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are, you've gotten the V, you are afraid that you're going to get sick, you're immunocompromised, you are living in fear, you're worried about something happening to your health, your loved ones, the kids, your grandparents, the people around you. And then you've got people on the opposite end of the spectrum who have not gotten the V, and they're fearful that someone's going to come knock down their door and try and give it to them against their will. They're fearful about losing their jobs because their employers are trying to, force something against their own free will. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, because we're all connected. That collective energy is fear. It is so hard to pull yourself out of that fear state. And that's what I've been saying to you. Like, even I do it every single day. So
so let's beautiful. So let's just go into one final little thing here,
just to kind of get you to understand how powerful you are. And when you focus that intention and you move into just even up that scale to that 300 level, just right into that positivity, sort of a shift. 300 is the level of acceptance. So as soon as you start to accept that these things are happening in our lives and we're not trying to like push back and control these outcomes, we're just saying, okay, we accept that so much on right now that is out of our control. You know, what can I control? I can control, you know, how I react to the situation. I can control, you know, where I focus my energy and attention.
Well, yeah, three things. Sorry to cut you off, but three things you can control in your world: what you do, as a result, what you don't do, and your attitude and mindset in the middle of that. Those are the only things that you can control in your world.
Well, exactly. And like I was just saying, like kind of where you're giving that attention. So if I'm constantly scrolling through negative, fear-based messages all day, every day, and I'm giving my attention to, you know, all of the stuff that could possibly happen or is going to happen, you know, I'm contributing to, I don't even mean to be, but I'm contributing to that lower state. And we need to be consciously aware of what we're feeding ourselves and where we are focusing that energy and that attention, because that is what our life is going to become. That is what our reality is going to become. So I think David just wants to talk about something here, just how powerful, you know, one person moving into that level of acceptance or moving into that level of love, how that counterbalances so many other people living at a very low vibrational state. And that's simply based on the fact that it is very hard to achieve these higher vibrational levels. So, you know, it actually really does tip the scales quite dramatically when somebody is able to raise their consciousness to that level.
Yeah, beautiful. Let me just take that off the screen here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just on one particular thing, because a lot of people are asking and saying, and have done for a while, what difference can I make? You know, it's just little old me, and I'm maybe on my own, or I got a family. I'm not necessarily feeling like I can make an impact in the world to shift into high vibrations. Well, take a look at this. This is really interesting. You can make a huge difference. So I'm not sure this, but I'm going to read it to you. I'm presuming you can, because it's quite big on the screen. But as I mentioned, the level of 200 on that Hawkins picture is the first true stage of consciousness and personal power. And the one I want to go into here is this sort of...
Which is courage, which is the level of courage. So you become courageous enough to stand up for what you believe is right. You've become courageous enough to speak your truth. And that's kind of the first step, right?
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And so if you look at this, one person vibrating at 300 counterbalances the law of counterbalance 90,000 people who are vibrating at the level below 200. Now,
so one person who has moved into that acceptance sort of phase in life is now equivalent to 90,000 people who are living just below that kind of courageous state, into that more negative state.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, and that's, if you look at just that level there, just 300, which is, again, with little practices of meditation and slowing your life down and getting into some spiritual work, you can hit that level of 300 really easily. And in fact, you'll go in and out of probably 500 at different points throughout the month, which is more of a state of love. When you feel love for your significant other, for your friend, for your partner, whoever it is, you'll go in and out of even the 500 level. So, but the key is to activate the frequency and to hold it. Holding it is what creates major shift. Because like in the military, when you overcome an objective, it's really about holding the ground, depending on what the objective is, before you move on. So if we got the scale real quick here, you can read off it as well as I'm talking.
Just how it exponentially jumps up. One person at the level of 400, which is,
I can go back.
It is, what's 400? Reason.
So the level of reason can counterbalance 400,000 people who are vibrating below the first stage, which is 200. Skipping on really quick, you can see how, like Kelly said, how fast it is. One person who's vibrating at 600 counterbalances 10 million below 200, and all the way up. You can go all the way up to the top levels here.
Yeah. So if you surpass that level of love, unconditional love for yourself and for every other being on this planet, you can counterbalance, what is it, 10 million people, 10 million people. So to think that, your one individual self
It's one person
can't make a difference.
Yeah.
That's literally one person. You can counterbalance 10 million people who are living in a state of fear.
Yeah, it's amazing. Very powerful, that. So go and check that out. A quick shout out to lifecoachestoolbox.com. There's no idea who you are, but we have stolen your graphic because it is a beauty.
Yeah.
And looks great. It's got some very complicated information, which I can't even dissect. So you probably can, but I can't. So anyway, thanks for that. Go and check it out, guys. We'll put links in the description to these two graphics. You're probably mostly familiar with the Hawkins scale. I'll just get off screen share.
We've been talking about the Hawkins scale a lot. We have a video in the future coming up. One of our motivational videos will be on the Hawkins scale, where we kind of go through the different levels in more depth and detail. So we're definitely excited about that. We've been working on a lot of fun projects together.
Yeah. And the greatest way to shift your vibration is two really powerful ways. Just by taking 2 or 3 deep breaths and returning to a state of neutrality, which is well above 200, by the way, or go and add value to someone else. Go and take your eyes off yourself. Go and serve another person, whether it's your partner, whether it's someone on the street. Doesn't really matter. When you get into that gratitude and service vibration, that's also very high on the scale, and you can really snap out of your lower vibrational states very quickly by doing that.
Well, I was just thinking the very first step out of that neutrality phase is acceptance, is 300. So I think that, I know, at least for myself, moving away from the rallies and sort of the protest, kind of that opposition and that fight, is just moving into that acceptance phase. So to me, that just means letting go of control, letting go of the need to fight back, because as soon as you fight them, they fight you, and it's just a vicious cycle. It's really just about letting go and being able to surrender to what is, and just realizing that we are here for the experience.
Yeah.
So it's not, this is good and this is bad and this is negative and this is positive. It's not seeing it like that anymore. It's just seeing that, this is what it is. This is what we signed up for. This is why we're here. This is, we have front row tickets to this crazy clown world circus that is happening right now. And, we are just here to simply observe and experience. So once you can just surrender and let go of that need to control, and you're able to move into acceptance, that's the first step of truly recognizing that you have that choice.
Yeah.
You have that power. You don't have to choose the lesser of two evils. You can just say, okay, this is what it is, but I'm choosing to create my own life. I'm choosing to go where I want to go.
Well, that's a perfect segue into Sunflower Life. Yeah, so we've got another little slideshow for you guys, a little screen share to give you. But before we do, we kind of want to talk very, very quickly about the Sunflower Life, I guess, mentality, way of living, mantra, which is really living your best life and living life on your terms. And there are some things that anybody can do to do what we're doing, to live free, to live in abundance, to live in peace, to live in love, and to not let really anything affect you outside of the 4 walls of self that you live in, not your house. It's good to get out, except if you're in Edmonton and it's December, so you probably don't want to get out too much. It's a little bit cold.
Okay, it was plus 13 yesterday,
warm,
and we went to the river valley and we went on a scooter ride, and I don't know what he's talking about, but we're gonna have a good winter.
It's going to be a bit of a winter, yeah. Anyway, so, and the way you do that, and we're going to break that down in later shows, is really to start to design how you want to live on paper and put the things in place you need to put in place to start living that life. It's as simple as that. It sounds kind of trite, but it really is that simple. And for me, the biggest thing for me was my freedom, was to be able to go wherever I wanted to go, do whatever I wanted to do with who I wanted to do it with. And in order to do that, you've got to get out of the structures and systems which keep you in bondage. Things like that, things like, I'm going to say it, employment, although it's not a negative thing, it does take up a lot of your time. Now, those of you who are doing a great work in service to the world through employee type situations, we obviously thank you. We don't think anybody who's employed is bad at all, but it does take up a huge chunk of your time when, for me, I just wanted to be free. So I've always been an entrepreneur and I've always been in that realm. And it has also freed me up to be able to spend time with my divine counterpart, to be able to add value to her, to serve her on a daily and hourly basis sometimes. And
I really am that needy.
Not in a negative way. She is that needy.
No, I am.
But I love it. And that was one of the things on my core value chart, was to be able to have a partner and be free to live life in that way where we add value to each other. It's an all-way street.
I just kind of wanted to touch on something you said a little bit there. So this is all happening for a reason, guys. Like, we are being tested. We are being pushed to our boundaries. We're being made incredibly uncomfortable right now by these situations. And it's because, we're in this situation where we're dependent on this system in which we live in. A lot of us live paycheck to paycheck, so we depend on our jobs, and we depend on our spouses and our husbands to work to feed the kids, and to there's so much that we feel we have to do. We feel like we're forced into doing this. If I don't do this, well, then I lose this. So we're in these situations where we're being made so uncomfortable, but it's really just to push us out of this mentality.
Comfort zone, yeah.
Push us out of our comfort zone, push us into growth, push us to level up, push us to realize, maybe I hate my job and I hate my life and I hate giving up, 8-9 hours a day away from my kids just so I have to pay for childcare. Maybe I'm, compromising myself in this relationship because I feel like I need it to survive. Like, all of these things are happening to us right now to really make us evaluate where we're at in life. And it's pushing us to become more of ourselves. It's pushing us to become more happy and closer to who we truly are, which is just totally reevaluating what makes me happy. Who am I? Well, I don't identify with being a healthcare worker anymore. I don't identify with being an X-ray technologist anymore. I identify with being just a happy person who's here to hold the light and raise the frequency and raise the consciousness of humanity, because this is what I truly feel called and connected to do. But it's through a lot of self-work, and it's through a lot of stuff that comes up, because all of those fears, all of those insecurities, well, if I lose this, then I won't be this, or I won't have this. These are all attachments that we're holding on to because we make that in our minds. Having them makes us who we are. Having that job is who we identify, is what we identify with. And, I'm going on a tangent here. A lot of that is ego. A lot of that is trauma. A lot of that is just the realization that, hey, this isn't actually me. So it's really all of these things are happening in our lives to push us, to make us realize, are you really happy where you are? And what is going to make you happier is choosing you, loving yourself, choosing, to do what you want to do every day and every moment that makes you happy. Because I just want to end on this one thing. Truly, what we have in this physical life is our time. And that is our true currency. That is how we pay for things in life. That's why they say we spend our time on things. That's why we say we pay attention, because that really is our true currency is our time. You know, a lot of people think it's money, but that's getting wrapped up in the material. But really it's with our time, it's with our energy, it's with our attention. So are we giving it to negative things that make us think about fear and what we're afraid of and what we're worried about? Or are we giving it to positive things that are building us up and allowing us to live in love and joy and peace and doing, you know, what we want to do in a day? So
yeah. And speaking about your beautiful babe, speaking about choice, one of the things that we chose to do yesterday, perfect segue again, babe, is to go out, was 2:30, 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, whatever time it was early afternoon, and go walk around the river valley down here in South Edmonton and take some photographs, do some filming for an upcoming mini documentary that we're going to do, and just have a lot of fun on the scooters that we took out completely free. And it was a beautiful afternoon. It was about plus 13 degrees. We had a hell of a time. Stayed out till about, what was it, 8 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah, we bought some new gear and a new camera and a new weeble.
And a new gimbal, which took me about half an hour to get balanced as it was getting cold and we were losing all the light.
But yeah, we had the ability to you know, go try out some of our new camera gear and for some of our new and upcoming projects that we just really love creating together and focusing on that. And you know, a lot of you know that I'm not working right now, and I'm going to be coming out with all of that information and disclosing everything, but I can't say any of that now because I'm still kind of caught up in the midst of it at the moment. But you know, I'm gonna disclose all of that information in the future. But right now, like, it's just so nice to be able to have the time to do what we want to do, to get out in nature, to keep our vibes high, to keep us sane. And I can tell you that, like, we don't live in this world of COVID.
No.
Like, we don't.
No, we don't. We live in a different dimension.
Like, it literally feels like we are in some other different bubble of society when we go out. We just do our own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is everything we're talking about, practicing the things that we're going to be talking about more and more of. We're talking about building a course this morning, and we'll talk about that on another show. But we want to share with you the things that we do to keep us in this not even a bubble, in this reality that we've chosen to be in. But coming back to yesterday, I want to give you guys a little sneak peek to some of the pictures that Kelly and I took as we were out and about.
Oh my goodness.
I may show you more of Kelly than me, but we're going to go through just 4 or 5 pictures and give you a little bit of a sneak peek to what we were doing, what we were up to.
David is so sweet. He took so many great pictures of me. I don't know if he told you, probably not, but he used to be a photographer. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Me standing in the middle of a rock in the middle of the North Saskatchewan River. And that's my sunflower pose.
That is a sunflower pose.
Taken in the sun.
So we're just going to scroll through a few here.
That one, I feel like you airbrushed a little too much.
A little bit of airbrushing on that one.
Photoshopped me. It's photoshopped out my wrinkles.
Beautiful girl.
Oh, there's my new profile picture on Facebook.
I'm going to go through a couple more here.
I love that one.
So gorgeous.
Don't give away all these photos because I want to put them on my Instagram.
We'll do one more. I like that one. Excessive.
Remember when we met those guys on the bridge?
Oh yeah, I've got them too here, but we may find them. There's a couple of me. Kelly took that.
Oh, there's my handsome honey. See, my photography skills aren't that bad.
Maybe look really good.
I'm learning, and RC the rapper taught me a lot of stuff too. So sorry again for everyone on Instagram. You can't see the actual photos, but
sorry guys.
Trust me, I'll be posting them later.
Kelly shot these. These are great. Yeah.
You're so handsome, babe.
And then we took a picture of our friends who may not like being on air, actually. But anyway, you're on. We said we might feature you. Luigi and what was the other fellow's name? I can't remember his name.
No, I can't remember either.
2 wonderful fellows. And we had a great chat about life, about business, about, goodness me, about all kinds of stuff. Let's just end the slideshow there, shall we?
Yes.
So we got some really cool footage as well. We got some really cool video, which is going to go into a little documentary. But anyway, we were out and about, and just like Kelly said, we're kind of in this zone of just of freedom, of peace, of high vibrations, because we're doing what we feel is the right work to do in order to stay in those states.
Now I have to share. Okay, so it was really funny because we ended up talking to those two gentlemen for quite a while. Like, they were very interested, especially when they found out I'm in healthcare and I haven't gotten the V. They seemed a little weary. The one guy only wanted to like elbow tap me after that. It was just a little bit awkward, but they were they had a lot of questions. They were very intrigued about what we were doing with our little photo shoot and having everything set up there. And so after we kind of explained, who we are and what we're doing and why we feel the way that we do, and we had a really just, kind of connecting, interesting conversation with these two older gentlemen. He had said, when we originally scooted by them the first time, he said, when I first saw you guys drive by on scooters, I knew there was something different about you. Yeah. So I don't know how he really meant that, but I just really think that people can see that light that we're trying to embody and that joy. And, I walk by a lot of people on the street who look down and they don't want to make eye contact. And I'm burning my eyes right through them and with the biggest smile and, sending everybody love and light. And it's really interesting because when I drive in the car with him, you're sending everybody well wishes. It doesn't matter if it's, Joe walking his dog on the street or Carmen in the car beside us. You are physically sending them good vibes and saying out loud, like, I hope you have a glorious day. I hope some guys running by. I hope you reach your personal best today. Like, it's always good. It's always positive. It's always sending love and light. And so was I surprised that he felt that there was something different about us? No, I'm not surprised, because we are actively trying to change and be different and rise above those feelings that are so easy to become and participate in. And it's so easy to go there. Yeah. It's hard to go the other way.
And I love doing that to sort of, I think Esther Hicks would probably call it the rampage of appreciation. I listened to Esther back in the earlier years of my awakening, but and if you do it, great. But she talks about going on a favorites hour. So when you go out and walk out and about, everything you see is your favorite. So literally you say, that's my favorite tree, that's my favorite car, that's my favorite place, to everything you see, everything your focus goes on to. And if you think about how, again, energy and frequency works, imagine if you're in a crowd of people and you feel like someone's looking at you. You feel like there's a attention on you or some kind, you turn around and someone's looking at you. Well, that is an energy connection.
Really.
Exchange, from them to you. So and it goes much deeper than that, of course. But that's how you know it's physical proof that everything is energy and frequency. And when you put your attention to something, it's like you're throwing something at whatever it is. So make sure it's positive, because you can really have an effect on someone's day. So yeah, I'll go out and do that. I'll do little frequency blasting to people. Sometimes I'll shout it out.
And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We're just trying to raise the vibrational frequency of our entire planet. And like we showed you before on the scale of consciousness, you have the power to make such a huge difference. It's incredible. So, if you ever wondered what your purpose in life was, that's why we're here as light bearers, as star seeds. And we're here to hold the light, and we're here to hold space, and we're here to hold love. So when people are just, figuring that out and they need a place to go, don't hesitate to reach out, or hopefully you find our channel. There's lots of people talking about this stuff, and there's lots of people dedicating their life to doing this right now. So, I've never felt more passionate. I've never felt more purpose in my life. And I've certainly never been this happy or healthy or abundant or grateful. So, I feel like we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Well, yeah, we're just going to close out here. We were going to do a little thing with some I am statements. We haven't prepared that, so we're just going to sort of finish off with something that I want to share actually real quick.
Yeah, we won't do the meditations at the end tonight. We're going to start doing mass meditation every Sunday.
So Sunday at 8 p.m. We'll probably keep it at 8 p.m. every Sunday. So tune in and watch for updates on that on our channels. If you're watching this, please do like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook Lives we're going to now. Twitter as well, I think, but I haven't managed to find out where we're actually broadcasting to on Twitter. But anyway,
we even have.
Please do like our stuff if we've added value. Just a quick finale, quick final point in how can you shift a little bit more right now, a little tool for you. Well, I want you to look at 3 things real quick: input, association, and the connection and the work that you're doing. So remember the Hawkins scale at the beginning of the show. If not, go back and watch that. What is the things that you're reading on a regular basis during the day? How does that make you feel? What level of frequency? Think about that. Number 2, association, the people that you spend time with. How do you feel around them? Are you surrounding yourself around positive people, people who connect with you on a spiritual level, or people who maybe bring you down a little bit or make you feel a little bit in the lower states? What's the level you're at when you're with them? So people you spend time with. The third thing is the work that you're doing, whether you're an employee, an entrepreneur, unemployed, whatever you're doing right now is your work. What level on the Hawkins scale are you at? And those 3 things can really, if you do a little frequency inventory, take a snapshot about how you're contributing to your vibration and the planet as well. So that's about all I wanted to share with everyone today. We're going to just sign off now, but we want to thank you for watching this, everyone who watched this live and is watching it back. We just love everyone for all your comments and all your messages. Please keep them coming. If you want to reach out to myself or Kelly, please do so. We got an email on the bottom of the screen there, I think on YouTube, info@thesunflowerlife.com. And we're blessed to be here and blessed to be sharing our truth.
Yeah.
So, we
sure
thank you.
Are.
We thank you guys. And we'll be live again as someone else is joining on Insta. But we'll be joining the team live, the world live on Sunday night, 8 p.m. for a powerful meditation. Join that. We need your frequency to help shift the planet. So we value your attendance in that as well. And we shall see you on the next show. So lots of love, guys. And we hope you have a wonderful week.
And don't forget, you are beautiful, you are perfect, and you are powerful beyond belief.
Beautiful. We'll see you guys soon.